Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars Days of Ruin Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the south side as Blue Lynn, we got Inconspicuous. Spawn on the north side as Yellow Isabella, we have a foreign name. Let's go ahead and get started. This map is double base map, one airport. We've got trio cities in the corner, so you will have to use a T-cop to get over there. Both players do also start with a aircraft carrier, which is probably meant just to give access to seaplanes. And Lynn does pull off her aircraft carrier. I think aircraft carrier is a good spotting, right? I can't remember. Or it's just infantry at the moment. There's also a temporary airport on the center of the map which could be useful for seaplanes. Bike deployed in the field. Recon infantry. Lynn could load herself up into the back of the recon. Forgot to mention what ACO does. Oh well. I assume everybody would know at this point in time. You have an early artillery with a base skip. War vision is decent, but they can't see anything useful on the map. True. After all, right here gives you 1, 2, 3, and not 4. Speaking on not 4, looks like Lynn does push forward to capture the sector there. Not sector, city. Getting all the games mixed up. This infantry course got trapped there and does get machine gun bit there. Lynn does load herself up to a tank there. Isabella is probably going to be loaded up in this tank as well. You can always deploy a seaplane, load up your unit, CO unit into a seaplane. Artillery advancing. And once again, she does go ahead and get stuck again. T-copter, flare, and base skip. I have to capture those cities. There's 3 cities there, so it's probably a good idea to get infantry over there as soon as possible. Take a bit of time to capture, but gives you a lot of income. Nice bit of damage there. Recon gets a good strike there as well. Get a nice early 14 energies. Got now mech, battlecopter, and infantry. Battlecopter. Infantry, and battlecopter. Does scout out both these sectors here. It does not spot the artillery, which actually is a critical thing not to spot. It's on top of a forest. And now the command tank is in range of the artillery, but the tank itself is out of vision range at the moment. Nope, it's in vision range. Does artillery have 3 spotting range? I thought artillery only had like 1 spotting range. I must be mistaken. Tank does get a good shot there. The command tank was a little bit too far away to spot it. It was 4 tiles away. Oh well, I must be missing something. Anyway, Lynn does lose her tank there. Does... Oh! Okay, goes for the shot there. Minimizing damage received. But only gets 5 energy. Goes for mech artillery. Sorry, my paranoia. Already went for 1 to 3 on Days of Ruin. Got it. I was like, I thought artillery only has 1 vision range. I always, of course, there's all the differences. I always forget which one's which. My bad. So artillery can now self-spot. You know, I don't really like that change. I think artillery, like indirect units, should have a spotter. And artillery are already pretty cheap, so it shouldn't have self-spotted. They're cheaper than tanks. Mech ain't here. Lynn's starting to pull back a little bit. Get nice core tanks. Of course, a race pretty small for superpower. Most of the classic units got a vision buff except the battlecopter. Oh, interesting. I don't know all the visions on top of my head. I just know some units have decent, some units are excellent, and some units are abysmal. Does strike the anti-air there with a CO buffed artillery piece there. And ruins provides the same defense capability and mobility as planes, but does at least allow for a bit of hiding. Isabella getting 19 entries so far, though right now her flare is out of ammo. We've got a rocket recon. Likely next turn this flare will move on top of this city there, just get a bit of resupply. Does drop an infantry unit there, so both players are going to capture the cities now. Isabella got a nice early head start, has 18,000 income versus 15,000. She does also have these two properties in the center. Medium tank and mech. It does go ahead and wait the aircraft carrier, you monster. Infantry does scout out the artillery, which could be knocked out. Lin does take a good swipe at it. Recon gets a good shot there. Only gets needed one more point of damage. Left this one at 14. This one got left at 5, so neither of them close going down. But this will give her +1 radius. And the +1 radius becomes very important. Now she's very close to getting her superpower. She could deploy a superpower next turn at the current rate. We got a seaplane deployed in the field. Emergency seaplane. And seaplanes are good. 29 energy. 34 inches, so she now has +1 radius. Recon getting shot on up. And Lin's tank there does survive. Which means... And it has 43 energy. If she can just squeeze out enough power charge, she will be able to deploy her superpower for a pretty good counterattack. I think she should either get her superpower. Could go for the bike there first. That'll give her 10 energy, then she just needs 7, which is likely. Captures first, not a bad idea. Interrupts the capture of the comm tower, that's very important. I think the tank should have not moved there first. I think she should use the artillery to strike. No, striking this tank there would be a good target for damage-wise. And 56 could have got the more energy there from taking out the bike there. Pulls back her tanks, is not going for superpower this turn. Merge, and just do a general pullback. Probably a good idea to pull back overall. Recon battlecopter infantry, I think. Instead of going for the recon there, could have gone for a battlecopter tank and get a good amount of force over here. I don't think, and then maybe to our infantry unit there's enough funds left over. Probably wouldn't be. Takes out the mech there. Now the artillery will be likely next. Seaplane advancing. We do now have the superpower. This course does improve all units' movement range by 2, right? Just want to make sure, yep, all units, not all ground units, as well as only ground units. Isabel's turn of 155, Lin's return for 123 with 17,000 in the bank, or 19,000 in the bank. Pulls back her CO unit even further. Does put the infantry units there on the spotters. Does put the artillery there. Anti-air tank. I think she should have gone for an aircraft unit there to break through this area. And Isabella is just going to take time to capture up properties. It's probably a good call. She's at 19,000 for 17,000, though Lin still needs to capture up these 2 properties here. This property can be interrupted by an infantry unit there. Seaplane's getting low on fuel. There's a temporary airport for it though. And that is a terrain to hide air units. She could push the artillery unit onto this right here, then put the seal unit on top of the HQ, and having the artillery unit in range of this city there could give enough power charge for a superpower. Oh, then again, there is a rocket. So, probably not a good idea to do that. Rocket takes out the unit on top of the mountainside. And the temporary airport is a hiding spot for air and ground, so this medium tank is hidden. Do you have him now rigged on the center on the tops of the map? Probably to resupply not only the flare but also the seaplane. Takes out that unit there as well. Will be in range of the rocket. Of course, the rocket's hidden. Lynn does have her superpower available. Bunch of mobile units with able to get some extra spotting is probably a good way to go to help break through for our counterattack. This tank is not spotted. Flare is out of ammo. Does get spotted by the anti-air. Medium tank anti-air. Isabella probably needs to identify where that rocket is. Puts the rocket on top of the temporary seaport, which is a hiding spot. That's probably a good spot for it to cover this area. With also the rough terrain in front of it, it makes it more difficult to reach it. But Lynn probably needs to get a whole bunch of mobile units such as tanks in order to help range this force. A Duster wouldn't be half bad. Recon medium tank. $19,000 versus 19,000. Income is equal. Try for that property. Got the infantry unit nearby. Maybe we'll get on top of the mountain and shoot down upon it. Lynn's turn. It's the mech. Tank anti-air. Fires off a flare there. Seaplane does get resupplied. It looks like Lynn or Isabella's just front shifting over the right flank, which we may see a seaplane deployed out for emergency response. One of these battlecruisers could be shot down. Does spot the aircraft carrier off the temporary seaport. Bomber. Nothing else. Pops the superpower there. Going to see a mass counter there. Recon spots everything. Mech has 10 capture progress remaining. Picks out a couple more units there. Rocket gets ranged by a tank. Aircraft carrier does not deploy out a seaplane. Of course, right now, Lynn does also have about plus 30 global for pretty much all units. Or at least all ground units. Not a super powerful, well, superpower, but does make power pull ahead a little bit. 207 versus 195. Bomber nukes the tank there. Just get finished off by infantry unit there. Income still equal. Takes out the top of the comm tower, trying to flip the comm tower. Of course, Lynn has the extra defense this turn, making it she's able to survive this onslaught. We don't see the superpower just yet for increased movement range, so likely that'll be in the following turn. Lynn's CO tank is here, so she probably won't get a superpower or enough power charge, really. Rocket artillery's out of range as well. Looks like the wind tank there. Rocket gets a good strike to the medium tank. Gets out that unit there. T-copter falls back. Could have been loaded up in the aircraft carrier. It's also pretty low on fuel. Good strike there. We're going to see Isabella's superpower this next turn, I'm assuming. Anti-air battlecopter infantry. Does get trapped there, but it was an unloaded T-copter, so that's fine. It was just a recon pass. Takes on the battlecopter there, the +2, another battlecopter gets shot down. Mech falls back. Mech sprints away forward, hits tank. Mech sprints forward, hits tank. Bomber strikes medium tank and nukes in one shot. Takes on another tank there with sprinting mechs. Medium tank hits the artillery, spotting what's on top of the city, which was nothing. Rocket goes down. Seaplane nukes the battlecopter. Infantry gets hit there. And resupply. And infantry unit shoots up the anti-air a little bit. Battlecopter flare infantry. Isabella's down 116 versus 201. Anti-air strikes T-copter. Battlecopter strikes a CO tank. Takes the CO tank there. Mech strikes mech, interrupts the capture. Anti-air could hit the seaplane. Tank strikes medium tank. Medium tank strikes medium tank. Wounded anti-air. Full health anti-air gets a good strike there. Hits that tank there. Gets +1 CO zone now. Helicopter drops him back on. Insurf 129 versus 154. Bomber still poses a threat. War tank here. Then Isabella just needs to focus on this anti-air. The bomber has free reign. Though the aircraft carrier does have a defensive weapon that can hit aircraft, if I remember correctly. It's not the missile like in previous Dual Strike. It's just basic machine guns. It's really not that great. Does get a nice resupply there. Does spot the rocket there, who has 2 ammo remaining. Anti-air gets struck there. Finish off the tank there. And the flare gets hit as well. Lynn could CO her war tank next turn. Does seal the war tank and moves forward. Anti-air can strike the bomber if it had an angle on it. That can strike the anti-air next turn. Definitely be a good trade for that. CO tank, battlecopter there. CO war tank gets nuked by the bomber. Takes a T-copter there. Mech strikes anti-air. Tank strikes rocket. Rocket goes down. War tank gets shot up by anti-air and goes down. And leaving Isabella with 49,000, which half of that is locked away in the aircraft carrier. Actually, place my offhand. Yeah. And does go ahead and resign then. This is Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.